It was 3:17 in the morning, and I was sitting on the edge of my bed, staring into nothing. Not asleep, not awake, just existing. The room was completely silent, but inside my head, there was chaos. Thoughts colliding, doubts screaming, memories I couldn't escape. I had dreams, big ones. But every single day, it felt like I was drifting further away from them. And that night, I faced a truth I had been avoiding. If nothing changed, my life would stay exactly like this. That same pain, that same confusion, that same emptiness. And right there, in that silence, I discovered something so simple, yet so powerful. It changed my life forever. Act 1. A life that felt like a cage. I wasn't always like this. There was a time when I believed in myself, when I had energy, passion, purpose. But slowly, everything faded. Failure after failure. Rejection after rejection. Voices telling me I wasn't good enough. And eventually, those voices became my own. Every morning felt heavy. Getting out of bed felt like a battle. Even the smallest tasks felt overwhelming. I would spend hours scrolling, watching other people win, while I stayed stuck in the same place. And deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't weak. I was lost. Lost in overthinking. Lost in fear. Trapped in a cycle I didn't understand. And the harder I tried to fix everything, the more broken it felt. Motivation didn't last. Advice didn't stick. I needed something real, something simple, something that actually worked. But I had no idea where to find it. Act 2. The question that changed everything that night. I stopped trying. Not because I gave up, but because I had nothing left to give. No distractions. No noise. Just silence. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't run from my thoughts. I listened. And then a question appeared in my mind. What if the problem isn't your life, but the way you see it? That question hit me harder than anything before, because suddenly everything made sense. My life hadn't completely fallen apart, but my mindset had. I had trained my mind to focus on lack, on failure, on everything that could go wrong. I was living in fear before even trying. And that's when the truth became clear. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet and undeniable. Where your focus goes, your life follows. At first, it sounded too simple, but I made a decision. Just one day, one small experiment. Act 3. One small step. The next morning, nothing changed. Same problems, same feelings. But this time, I responded differently. Instead of saying, I can't do this, I said, I'll just do one small thing. Just one. No pressure, no perfection, just a single step forward. And I did it. It wasn't big. It wasn't impressive, but it was real. And that one action did something powerful. It broke the cycle. The next day, I did it again and again. Slowly, something shifted. My mind stopped obsessing over problems and started noticing progress. Small wins, tiny improvements. And for the first time in a long time, I felt in control. Act 4. The secret most people ignore. Here's what I realized. Life doesn't change in one big moment. It changes in small decisions, repeated every single day. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and disappears. The real power is this. Focus creates your reality. What you focus on grows. Focus on problems, and your life feels heavy. Focus on progress, and your life starts moving forward. So I changed small things. I can't became how can I? Fear became action. Waiting became starting. And slowly, everything began to change. Not instantly, but consistently. Act 5. Becoming someone new. Weeks passed. then months. And one day, I looked back, and I didn't recognize myself. The overthinking was quieter. The fear was weaker. The confidence was stronger. But the biggest change? It wasn't outside. It was inside. I wasn't controlled by my thoughts anymore. I controlled them. Opportunities didn't suddenly appear. I started seeing them. I started taking risks, trying new things, failing, but learning. And for the first time, failure didn't scare me, because I understood something most people never do. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Act 6. The truth that sets you free. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to start and keep going, even when it's hard, even when it's slow, even when no one notices, because the real battle is inside your mind. And once you win that battle, everything changes. Act 1. The trap of progress. At first, everything was working. Small wins turned into bigger ones. Confidence started growing. People began noticing. And for a moment, it felt like I had escaped. But then something changed. Not outside. Inside. I became comfortable, careful, afraid to lose what I had built. And slowly, that fear started controlling me again. I stopped taking risks. I avoided challenges. I chose safety over growth. And without realizing it, I was falling back into the same cycle. But this time, it was hidden. No obvious failure. No clear warning. Just a quiet drift away from who I was becoming. Act 2. The second realization. One day, I caught myself. Not in a dramatic moment, but in a small decision. I was about to avoid something difficult. Something that could move me forward. And I heard that same voice again. This is where most people stop. That hit me hard, because I realized growth didn't end when I changed my focus. That was just the beginning. The real challenge was staying consistent. And then the second secret revealed itself. What got you here won't keep you here. That one sentence changed everything again, because I understood something deeper. You don't rise once. You rise again and again. Act 3. The harder path. So I made another decision. Not to go back. Not to stay comfortable. But to level up. Again. This time, it was harder. Because now I knew what failure felt like. And I knew what success looked like. And losing progress felt scarier than never starting. But I did it anyway. I leaned into discomfort. I chose growth, even when it was painful, even when I didn't feel like it, even when no one was watching. And something powerful happened. I didn't just grow. I became stronger than before. Act 4. The truth about discipline. Here's what most people don't understand. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. And discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when it feels pointless. Because success isn't built on big moments. It's built on small actions, done consistently. I stopped chasing motivation. I started building habits. Simple ones, daily ones, non-negotiable ones. And slowly, those habits built a version of me that didn't need motivation anymore. Act 5. Becoming unstoppable. This time, the change was different. It wasn't just progress. It was stability, clarity, control. I stopped depending on feelings. I stopped waiting for the right mood. I started acting regardless. And that's when everything changed again. Not because life became easier, but because I became stronger. Problems didn't disappear, but they stopped controlling me. Fear didn't vanish, but it stopped stopping me. And for the first time, I felt unstoppable, not because I was perfect, but because I was consistent. Act 6. The secret behind the secret. Here's the truth most people never reach. The first secret changes your direction, but the second secret changes who you become. It's not about motivation. It's not about inspiration. It's about identity. You don't just do better things. You become someone who does them naturally. And once that happens, everything shifts. Not just your actions, but your entire life.